What is up, my homies, and welcome to my woods. And one thing I do a lot is obsess over specific pieces of media for around a month. Once the month is over, the obsession will start to die out.
And then I am absolutely disgusted by that same media. For only a short time, then the cycle begins again.
This is my personal definition of hyperfixating, and I've been doing it for almost my whole life. During the month of April, I'm going to take you through my most reoccurring hyperfixations, anywhere from ranking to reviewing, and well, just talk about them. Welcome to Hyperfixate April! Enjoy! When I was moving into my old apartment, I was unpacking all my books, and I noticed I had like half of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book series from my childhood. At this point, for a couple years, I already floated around the idea of collecting them all, but I never wanted to go through with it because I thought it would cost a lot of money. But when I saw all the books laid out on the shelf, I was dedicated. I became fully obsessed with these books, buying them, thinking about the series all the time, and it really wasn't that expensive. So it really didn't take a lot, and very quickly, in a couple weeks, I had the entire series. But I didn't stop there. I wanted to read all the books that I never got to as a kid because I stopped reading books. And I read them all, out of order, of course. And then I didn't stop there. I ended up reading all the books, even the ones I had read as a kid, out of order, of course, because I'm weird. And I ended up reading the whole series. And I made a video ranking every single book in the series. It is on this YouTube channel, but don't watch it. It is the worst video on my channel because I recorded it and I got in the editing bay and I just got lazy. I made no fun edits. There's no face cam. It's just an awful video. So I'm righting my wrongs today. So there were 5 ranks: The Wimpiest Kid, Zooey Mama, Classic Heffley Moments, Gammy, Manny, and Cheese Touch. And you can see all the books where they are. I'm not going to talk about all of it again. You can go watch the video. It's just long and boring. But the gist of it, a lot of the series is classic. It's fun. Nothing outstanding. A few of the books really captured something for me, and there are only a few that I really loved. And as you can see, the only one to get the Cheese Touch tier, which is essentially F tier, was the latest book at the time, was No Brainer at the time of the video. No Brainer was the worst book in the series. But today, I wanted to encapsulate this Diary of a Wimpy Kid obsession that I had last year by reading the true newest book, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Hot Mess. Yes, today, my friends, we are doing an unofficial, official book club. Will this book be better than book 18? This is book 19. Will it be better than the book that is the only one in the series to be considered an F tier? Stick around. When I did the book club, I talked about how next time I read a book, I'm going to take notes. I didn't exactly do that because there's not a lot of notes to take with Diary of a Wimpy Kid Hot Mess, but I did take screenshots of certain pictures in the book that I thought were funny. I just sat down on my couch and I read the whole thing in one sitting because I wanted to read it all. I have pleasant news. This book is leagues better than No Brainer was. If you watch the original video, the issue I had with No Brainer is that the back of the book hyped him up going to a new school, which is kind of crazy because the status quo of Diary of a Wimpy Kid is him going to the same school. And it hyped it up, and it's like, whoa, this is gonna be interesting. But he doesn't go to another school until I don't remember, the last 20, 30 pages, and they don't really do anything with it. The whole book just felt very thing after thing after thing happening. A lot of the later books do that because I think Jeff Kinney, he used all the possibilities he had with just Rowley and Greg in normal middle school age kid situations. So he really had to come up with a theming of what's happening or a location for him to go to. A lot of the later books have him going on vacation with his family, and Hot Mess does the same thing. The pressure is building for Greg Heffley, who discovers that when he makes heaps of family a tiny beach house in sweltering heat, it's a recipe for disaster. Speaking of recipes, the secret ingredients behind Grandma's famous meatballs have been closely guarded for years. Can Greg unpack all of his family's mysteries before the vacation is over, or will he stir the pot? His grandmother is turning 75, and she wants the family to go on a vacation they haven't been to since the mom and all the aunts were kids, because she doesn't want to do anything crazy. It's revealed right at the end that the grandmother lied. She just didn't want any of the family drama, and she had a huge blowout party, even though she said she didn't want anything crazy. She just wanted them out of their hair. And the secret recipe comes from a chain restaurant that they go to in the book. It has characters that have been in the other books. So, especially if you read them all, you recognize the characters, so they didn't just make up new characters. They've all been there before. You know, it's a wacky cast of characters. There's an aunt who's like a hippie. There's an aunt who has like a famous social media dog, which was kind of funny, kind of boomer-like, but also kind of funny. There's just an aunt who is just jealous, and then there's the mom. He'll go into random tangents, which will then lead into the next parts of the story. So it feels less like a diary and more like a book, and I would bring off points for that. But let's be real, this is book number 19. I mean, at this point, there's nothing better you could do. So I'm giving it a pass, but that's just me. He'll talk about things that's going on with his family, and then he'll go on a few tangents unrelated to it, telling stories about his life, and then it'll move into the next part. And for the first half of the book, it was kind of annoying, I think. I didn't like it very much. But then the second half of the book, he really stayed focused on like the actual shenanigans that their family got into on the vacation. And I was hooked. I was really enjoying my time with the book. They go to the beach, and there's a bunch of people on the beach, and he gets stuck in the water. They lose their cooler. It goes flying off with a kite, and then it gets stuck in a wild preserve area, which then comes back later. They go on a lighthouse tour, and Greg basically has an overstimulation freakout, which I relate to. I get overstimulated at work all the time. They play a board game with a ripoff of Monopoly, which was really funny. Greg gets his mom's phone, so he starts a social media account. He wants to become famous, and then he accidentally reveals where the famous dog is, and the paparazzi comes. It's just a bunch of fun moments, especially like the later part where they talk about the family stuff. It gets way less sidetracked. I think for the first part of the book, Jeff Kinney was trying to just fill it out, but then he got his pace in the second half. So I really enjoyed it a lot by the end, although I may have ruined the experience a little bit by reading it all in one sitting, because by the end, I just wanted to be done. Another aspect that I want to talk about in this book, it did that thing that a lot of the later books do really good, is having sprinkles of elements throughout the book that lead to one final like twist or reveal. And this book had like 3 reveals. I already revealed the grandmother secretly doing a party, and the meatballs coming from a restaurant they go to on the vacation. I should mention, they storm in the kitchen and accuse this chain restaurant of stealing their grandmother's meatballs. They're stupid. They sprinkle that Greg's dad used to be a lifeguard. Greg's uncle, his dad's brother, shows up and says they used to go here as kids, but they also say the aunt met a boy here when they were kids. They met a lifeguard as a kid, and then the mom stole the boyfriend. And Greg is like, oh, I don't want to hear about my parents dating, but if you're not stupid, you figure out that the boyfriend that the mom stole from the aunt is the dad. And it's just really funny, although when they reveal it, it's like not that big of a deal. But I just thought that was really clever that they sprinkled out that boyfriend that was stolen was the dad. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Just everything came together by the end. Another thing from the newer books compared to the older books, it's way more unrealistic. Crazy shit happens a lot more. Like, they get arrested by the police. They storm the kitchen with like no consequences. They sneak into where the grandmother lives. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It gets really unrealistic. This book is okay with it, but there is a book, God, I need to find it. So in the deep end, they get trapped at this RV camp, and like they have to survive apocalypse style, and it's one of the most unrealistic things I've ever read. But this book didn't go that crazy with it. It still went a little unrealistic, but I don't hate it. Honestly, I loved all the sprinkled elements that all connected at the end. It made me really like the book. The first half was a bit slow to start, but then the second, you know, I want to say the second third and third third, like the last 2/3 of the book were really like engrossing compared to the first third. And it had a really good premise. It never really felt boring. Even some of the boomer-like stuff was still like investing to me. Overall, I really liked this book. It was a quality installment in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, and leagues better than No Brainer. The back of the box wasn't a lie, and I know people agreed with me on the last book. If you're like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid fan, I recommend it. But if you're like, you read them as a kid, I wouldn't recommend it if you read as a kid. Only if you've like read all the books. I definitely recommend it. And if we're gonna put it in the tier list, I think I'd put it up in Zooey Mama, the second highest tier. I don't think it was good enough to be in The Wimpiest Kid. Just because those books were, I can't remember why I put Hard Luck in The Wimpiest Kid. It's because it's been so long, I'd have to rewatch the video. Wrecking Ball, I do remember why I put that one up there, because that one was like really good. I wouldn't put Hot Mess that high up. Again, the first third was really slow, but I would put it in Zooey Mama. I enjoyed myself through the whole thing. I didn't feel like at any moment I was like, ugh, this book is lame. I put it in the Zooey Mama tier, and right now I give it an 8 out of 10. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. There's going to be a few more episodes this April, all about things that I obsess over and have hyperfixated over, either in the past or the present. I really do want to start reading again. It's something I kind of got into last year and the year before that, but I've fallen out of it just because I'm working on this YouTube channel, playing games. I get overwhelmed really easily, and finding another like medium to focus on with like reading is really hard for me. The only reason I read this is because it's really short and really easy. Oh, one more thing I forgot. Just like a week or two before I recorded this video, the 20th Diary of a Wimpy Kid book was announced, and it's gonna have like a birthday theme to it. So I am going to read that when it comes out, and I will review it. I'm the Diary of a Wimpy Kid guy now. If you like this video, hit that big red subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye!